The correct approach to death, according to St. Ignatius, the God-bearer, Sermons of Elder Gregory, Transformation of the Holy Sanctuary St. John the Forerunner. It's very moving what St. Ignatius, the God-bearer, writes, and it's a correct position on death and life. And there we understand, we realize how differently we see this. In general, the abbot says, I and all Christians today, how differently we see them when we place life as we place it, or death again as we place it. And why? For St. Ignatius, death is to continue to remain here on earth, while life is to leave and go to the Lord. And this is the life for the saint. And in fact, among other pleasant words, he also says the following phrase, I will be born in 3 days, the birth is already imminent. Not his death, but his birth. Of course, in life, in eternal life. And he longs, desires, and begs not only that they do not intervene, so that he can be freed from the torture, but he says, be there where they will throw me into the lions, and you provoke the lions. Let's remember that St. Ignatius, that's how he found his martyrdom, in the Colosseum with the lions. Now, this is for me the great favor, the great blessing, he said. Now, how did the saint see them like this, as he saw them? And why do we not see them like this, and we cry and mourn and get disappointed and reach the point of arguing with God and saying, why, my Lord, it took you 20 years, did you take it 30 years ago? And why did he die and he still had years? In other words, why did he die so young? And why are we so afraid of death? In any case, there is a serious reason. That's why we deal with this the way we deal with this. We do not stand properly in the face of death, and this, of course, has another reason. Yes, we see a holy Christian, St. Ignatius, how he faced death, and the first Christians usually treated him like this. Death was a matter of joy, because it's a blessing, it's a benefit, it's life. This death for them is life, and this is how the first Christians saw it. But in order to understand why they could and did face death in this way, we must see the life here, the earthly life, and the first Christians, and if we see how they lived, we will understand why they faced death in this way, which for them was life and not death. To mourn too much for death, one of ours has passed away. To mourn and be beaten means that he has serious unconfessed sins, and that is why he treats him in this way. That is why he will have to settle down if he wants the best interest of his soul. We stand before death with some fear, and of course the reason is that our life is not like the life of the first Christians. Inside St. Ignatius, such a flame had ignited, such a fire that had burned everything on earth. What is happening in our lives? There was nothing earthly in the life of St. Ignatius. He had burned everything, and now we are full of earthly desires. Just imagine, at that time, the first Christians lived more correctly than the monks live today. The life of families was more spiritual. We are talking about families and not monasteries. They were more spiritual, they were freed from everything. Whatever the first Christians had, they placed it at the feet of the apostles. The Christian kept nothing back. He only had the clothes he was wearing. The Christian at that time was a monk. He was truly a monk, a monastic, that is, an almighty. He had nothing. And this I've translated for you from a Greek article. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support. Support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support, and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.